What's up, folks? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about the crypto news. More importantly, there are a few things going on with Bitcoin right now that look bullish. Obviously, we're experiencing somewhat of a retracement. The question is, do we hold the position that it's at right now, form a higher low? So, yeah. Or do we actually capitulate and have a lower low? Right? Now, there are a few charts that look really bullish, so I want to look over them along with recent news about Visa and MasterCard. Before I do, as always, I update the spreadsheet. These are just the first 26 coins that I spoke about on the channel that I thought would smash it in this cycle. If you invested $100 into each one of these when I release the videos and you're still holding that crypto, you'll be in profit for over 48 grand. It's not what I hold anymore. If you want to see what I hold, come check out Copy My Crypto. It's where I share every coin I buy, every coin I sell, and talk about how I'm navigating my way through these markets at the moment. And obviously we are in the most uncertain time in recent memory with everything going on, whether that's inflation, macroeconomic picture, the war in that's been breaking out in Ukraine at the moment. Energy crisis. There's so many external variables that have affected us for the last couple of years. So that is so if you're uncertain about how to navigate the terrain right now, you can come check out Copy My Crypto. I talk through how I'm setting everything up. Links in the description, guys. All right, first of all, let's talk about Ukraine. So Visa and MasterCard are announcing the suspension of operations in Russia. Both companies handle 90% of all debit and credit card payments outside of China, and their announcements will deal another significant blow to the Russian economy. The two credit and debit cards issued by Russian banks will no longer work outside of the country. Russian businesses and cash machines will also be unable to accept cards issued abroad. Both companies handle 90% of all debit and credit card payments outside of China, and their announcement will deal another significant blow to the Russian economy. And they've basically said they're compelled to act following Russia's attack on Ukraine. We also know that PayPal have also shut down their services to Russia. So this situation is sort of escalating, and this should end up having an impact on crypto. The level of impact is a interesting one, because fundamentally, we've certainly seen spikes, like the biggest spikes in trading volume for the ruble and Bitcoin, and the ruble and crypto, or the ruble and USDT. The question is, however, obviously, now Visa, MasterCard doing that might limit the ability of a lot of people within Russia to just be able to buy crypto. It's a very interesting situation, a very scary situation for everyone involved in this very, very unusual scenario. Obviously, your Binances, your Coinbases, all of them have refused to ban all Russians on the platform. They've agreed that they will impose the bans on the people that are sanctioned. But they've basically both come out and said everyone deserves access to basic financial services, and an outright ban would harm innocent consumers, many of whom likely oppose what the country is doing, which you can't disagree with. I genuinely don't. So fundamentally, even Brian Armstrong, Coinbase's founder, said, "We don't think there's a high risk of Russian oligarchs using crypto to avoid sanctions. Besides, it's an open ledger. Trying to sneak lots of money through crypto would be more traceable than using US dollars, cash, art, gold, or other assets." And he's right. It's an open ledger, guys. So we'll see. Tomorrow in particular is going to be a very, very interesting day, particularly with stock markets and the trading volume on the ruble tomorrow. Not just the trading volume on the ruble in terms of crypto, but how the ruble opens on the stocks. I would expect another fairly significant decline. This is going to have an impact on their economy. But then what it does is, again, it opens up the query of, we're going to see money filtering in to crypto. via Russia, via Ukraine. And also, how is that going to work? Because MasterCard and Visa, if they can't be utilized, the likelihood is that people can't then buy the crypto. So the next sort of 24 hours are going to be very, very, very interesting in terms of what we see. Because I'll be watching the ruble Bitcoin trading volume, but I'm expecting it to be a lot lower than we've seen in the last week or so. But if suspension of services hasn't come in to place, it might be at its high. It might be the biggest peak we've ever seen for the ruble and Bitcoin. It's very interesting. Now, in terms of Bitcoin right now, we've seen a few things that, yes, while there is a retracement sort of going on, but it is a mini one. You know, we're at like the high 38.8 sort of level right now. There's a few things that we're seeing. We're seeing big money making moves, massive moves. I mean, so the number of addresses with over 1,000 Bitcoin has risen from 2,118 to what is it now? 2,259. So another additional 130 or 141 people that own over 1,000 Bitcoin. You know, we've all of a sudden started seeing that real increase. Addresses with a balance above 100, even that had a little mini spike. You know, it went from 15,600 to again like 15,900. So that's another 300 people. You know, obviously some of them would be the people with over 1,000, but we're seeing spikes in the amount of people in the holding of Bitcoin. Seeing a bit of a spike in 10K. Certainly we'll see some level of spike in 10. Not hugely dramatic, but you know, it's gonna buy 1,000 plus people. Ethereum, not so much, I don't believe. I don't think we've seen tons of changes in Ethereum. So with over 1,000 Ethereum, we're looking at number of addresses with a balance of over 1,000. Had a little mini spike, but nothing huge. 100 had a little bit of again fairly minor. 10,000 had a bit of a spike, to be fair. No, that's minuscule. That's like 6 people. So, but Bitcoin, quite clearly, where the money is going. Quite clearly. But it isn't just Bitcoin. So Santiment pointed out that stablecoin buying power by shark and whale addresses has grown by 7.1% in just 1 month. So in the last month, addresses with 10,000 to 10 million tether have added $1.06 billion in buying power, which is the equivalent of 2.7% of the total supply. So whales and sharks are right now accumulating USDT. Massively on an accumulation run, particularly for the last month, buying and buying and buying and buying and buying and adding to their supply. 7.1% is a massive gain when you realize there's over $1 billion added. And then when we actually look at the Bitcoin chart right now, and this is a shout out to at Decode Jar, who I saw tweet this and I thought it was really good. This Bitcoin cycle, each wave has been longer than the last. Wave 4 now exhausting participants to the point where we are in a technical uptrend with on-chain data showing a macro bottom. Now, he's saying you couldn't ask for a better setup, a better wave 5 setup. The only question is where we can draw the line. He isn't wrong. We've made higher lows so far. Although that can change in an instant, but right now we're on higher lows. Technically, we're on an uptrend. Obviously, this month is fairly uncertain, but only for 2 external reasons. Firstly is the Fed, but the Fed have even opened up and said it's an 25-point hike on interest rates, so that's priced into the market pretty well. The major, more significant variable is obviously the Russia-Ukraine conflict at the moment, because there's elements of that conflict that's already priced into the market, but there are certain things that can happen that simply aren't priced in, and whether that's outright incursions from or boots on the ground being provided by the US or NATO or anyone of from the West, would certainly all of a sudden put this conflict into a very, very serious situation, but far an even greater, more serious situation, which is saying something. And then the second thing is obviously Putin's statements that he's coming out with. You know, you can't, you know, he's going to come out with some certain aggressive language. You can't necessarily predict the sort of threats of nukes, which he's thrown out a couple of times, and that's certainly put fear in the markets, along with, like, when we saw on Thursday night, late Thursday, early Friday, Russia taking the Ukrainian nuclear power plant and firing weapons at it or around it, you know. And those kind of moments are certainly going to put fear in the markets. Most of what is happening to some degree is priced in, but the external extreme variables cannot be. So the likelihood is that we right now are still on an uptrend for this month. Like I said, the Fed's 25-point hike is priced in. If they announce extreme tapering measures, that might throw things. But otherwise, technically, we're still on an uptrend. It's just going to be how things play out with Russia and Ukraine. And there's no predicting that, really. So we'll see. But in terms of technical analysis, you've got wave 5 not that far away, whether that's in a week, 2 weeks, or, you know, early end of April or early beginning of April. It could be a bit longer. We've got huge boosts in whale addresses for Bitcoin in particular. You know, an extra 100 people, 150 people utilizing that. What's happened there? That was right, fine. An extra 100 people utilizing or buying up Bitcoin, 140 people, and huge whale accumulation and shark accumulation in terms of USDT. And what we then see is USDT dumping while people are buying everything up. So right now things look like they could be primed for a real run of buying. Certainly your Bitcoins and Ethereums, but yeah, the only really real variable, or the biggest variable, is obviously still quite clearly Ukraine and Russia. Because fear of a war translates to fear in the financial markets. It's that simple. And right now, we do have to acknowledge that Bitcoin, in particular, is very well correlated with the stock market. And right now, the stocks are hugely overpriced. They simply are. So a correction there is coming, and if the correlation keeps, we could see a downturn in the crypto market as well. But right now, short term, for me, things looking pretty positive. We've definitely got room for this to run, just off the basis of how sharks and whales are moving at the moment, combined with, you know, the next wave of this cycle. But yeah, tell me what you guys think. Do you think we're going down? Do you think we're going to retest 28k, which could definitely happen? Do you think we're going even lower? Do you think we're about to hit bear? Let me know in the comments. And as always, guys, I always say it, if you're new to crypto, or you've been here a while, come check out a couple of my cryptos where I talk through everything that I'm doing right now, how I'm preparing, and what I'm going to be buying during the bear cycle. There is something I do keep reiterating, but anyone that's in this space should have a list of coins that they legitimately think are going to be fantastic, and start monitoring their movements. During a bear cycle, coins will retrace. If they're hitting their roadmap, they're retracing significantly, but they're developing more, onboarding more partnerships. It's got a hell of a shot of doing something good. So all you're looking for is that information. And once it's all landed in the way you want, you can make an investment and do very, very well. It's what I did with Phantom when I said it would 100x. So if you want to be a part of that, click the link in the description and check it out. Anyway, take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.